Welcome to this special edition of the Builder's Daily videocast, where we look at evolving edge of operational excellence, digital transformation, and builder leadership. I'm John McManus. Today, I'm joined by two trusted experts and senior leaders from Constellation HomeBuilder Systems, Chris Graham, Chief Executive Officer, and Bob Swainhart, General Manager for the Enterprise Solutions Group at Constellation. We're building off the energy and insights from Build Smarter Customer Conference last fall, where Chris and Bob and the Constellation team engage closely with leading builders, trade partners, and technology innovators. Our conversation today will explore what's emerging, what's transforming, and what's next. Bob, you, Chris, and I have been talking about strong crosswinds affecting consumers and households, particularly their hesitancy about the biggest purchase many households make in their lifetime. This is where builders are focusing so carefully and trying to be so adaptive where their opportunities are. That makes it even more difficult to focus on technology investments, and they become cautious because they see one as perhaps a resource that will subtract from another. So from your vantage point, what's changing about the balance and that hesitancy in the marketplace?
Well, there's this idea that historically home builders have been hesitant to invest in technology solutions. I think we're way beyond that as a reality for home building. Uh, it's almost become an expectation, and now, and I would like to think it's because we've spent so much time focused on this message that real-time information is powerful, and eliminating complex manual processes in your businesses and silos of data from your daily operations to a streamlined shared single database that provides you the kind of insight that you, enables you to make a quick decision. Right? It allows you to see where there's a problem and how to address it quickly. And historically, that might have taken days or weeks to actually get that information compiled in a way that the executive team can digest it and then be able to make a decision. And the reality is that in some of our markets, uh, days or weeks means that the information you're making decisions about is irrelevant. The markets can change relatively quickly. So I think builders have gotten to the point where they understand that they need real-time information to be able to make decisions quickly, especially in a market that is challenging for them. So I think it's the expectation that a technology provider is going to partner with them to enable that kind of efficiency for a builder. And yeah, are there stragglers out there who aren't that excited about technology? They're probably out there somewhere, but the best operators, the ones that are able to make these kind of quick decisions and pivot market by market based on real-time information, they're all leveraging technology. They make it an expectation when they partner with a technology provider in this space.
Yes. And when you look strategically, Chris, at that quandary, we've seen a long wait among home builders for ERP and other technologies to be integrated into home building's workflows and operational realities, which differ dramatically from those of many other businesses. ERP solutions, you've made it so that your biggest focus is to bring homegrown approach to the realities of that complex nature of home building life cycle, construction life cycle to bear on this. So could you talk about how the disposition may be changing in terms of builders seeing that it's not an add-on cost, but essential to how they operate their businesses?
Yeah. I think I talk a lot about, what it, about the respect that we have for home builders. They take on a lot of risk. They're making decisions in some cases that, they would feel the impact, years down the road. They're trying to figure out, which land to buy, what to build, what the price point should be, who their target market is. And in many cases, it's years in advance. And so, when you're making decisions like that, You got to have good information at the time, the best information available when you're making it, but also, as you're as you're actually developing that project or building those homes or selling those homes, you still have to have that information available. And so even, in our business, we've spent a lot of time improving the quality of data that we have in our operations. We're trying to bring all that information, together. We don't have the luxury of, having one system that we can use to run our whole, home building software technology business. But we do provide that to our customers. And so I think, in much the same way as our customers need information in one place and they need to get it out to all the people that need to make decisions, we do the same thing. And so I think the biggest, ROI or benefit and value can really come from, making that, making sure that you have good information in the system, making sure that it's available to your employees and extended team, whether they're in the sales office or in the field. And then, making sure that you can review, your assumptions and improve upon them going forward. You take all that, like we've been investing in data services and obviously our ERPs and accounting and production systems, for many years. But, if we go back to our Build Smarter conference, the whole data strategy was like a light bulb turning on. Like everyone really just understood that all this work and all this cleanup is worth it in terms of getting better data to your employees, making better decisions, and also, preparing for, technologies like, AI and chatbots and things that are going to help us in the future.
Yes, and you've set up a perfect segue to operationalize these advances across technology and data, and to recognize workflows and routines as data that can be captured and understood. And now we have AI. AI is a buzzword across many industries, but I think recognizing AI in the home building operational system and value chain is so important. How does that practically begin to apply in your minds? Where does it fit into the workflows, the builder operational workflows, Chris, that you've been so focused on in the years at Constellation?
Yeah, like we've been thinking about this for a long time. We actually launched some quite interesting functionality at our customer conference. We've been embedding it into our systems, and one in particular that is really meant to help with decision making. So, I think there's a lot of, as you mentioned, a lot of talk about AI. There, plenty of buzzwords, and what we're really focused on is where we can add value, right? Not just, putting essentially like an enhanced Google in the system, but actually providing, insights and better information that a purchasing person can use, or a sales manager can use, or construction manager can use. And we're going to work with our customers, to do that. There is a lot that's available to us. It's still a bit chaotic out there in terms of how, what's available and sort of the level of comfort that people have in using these tools. But our job is to make it, easy for our customers. They don't have to worry too much about it. We're going to be doing a lot of platform stuff and allowing them to sort of leverage our investments in it. And it'll just get better and better over time, and people will be able to get better and better insights. And, ultimately, we'll be working with our customers to do what really makes sense, not just, stuff that is technology for the sake of technology.